Hi, my name is Danny Brown and I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group. Today we're going to talk about new builds and why you need to do a home inspection on them. First, let's start what is a home inspection, and this is where a certified home inspector comes to the property and checks everything out. They're going to look at the electrical, the mechanical, the plumbing. They're going to look for paint, the roof. They're just going to inspect everything inside and out to make sure that the home is in good condition. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, and why would you do that on a brand new house where everything is new? What could be wrong with it? Well, you have to remember that homes are built by people and people make mistakes. And we are also in an environment where there is a severe lack of material and trade. So builders are hiring subs that they may not have worked with before. These subs or contractors are under a lot of pressure because they need to build a lot of homes and they are super far behind. So traditionally it takes somewhere 3, 4, maybe 6 months to build a house. In the market that we're in today, it's taking them 12 to 18, sometimes 24 months to build a house. So they have a lot of pressure on these contractors to go really fast because they're constantly playing catch up. And so when you do that, these trades are making errors and they're missing things. And so it's my recommendation on any time you purchase a newly built house, you actually do 3 separate inspections. The first being a pre-drywall inspection. And so what does that mean? That means that the home inspector is going to come in and check out everything about the home prior to the drywall going up on the walls. So they're going to check the framing. They're going to check the electrical that's inside the walls, the plumbing, the mechanical, and they're going to do a very thorough inspection of everything that the builder has done thus far before the walls go up and you can't see inside them anymore. The next inspection that I recommend is the one when the house is finished or near completion. I recommend that you do this before your final walkthrough, which typically happens a week prior to closing, because the home inspector is going to catch a lot of things that the builder might miss. And the builder may even be aware of some of the things that the home inspector catches, but it's really good to flag it anyway. And so I've had experiences where home inspectors have caught roofs that didn't have any of the mortar caps done on the roof. And so a big windstorm comes in and those tiles could just be blown off the roof. I had an experience where ductwork was installed to a bedroom, but the drywall person went right over where the ductwork was supposed to have a vent, and so that room had no air conditioning and nobody had caught it until the home inspector went in the attic to see that ductwork went to this room and then just went straight into drywall. So the builder had to come in and cut a hole and put a vent there so that that room could get air conditioning. I've had instances where builders have missed full fascias being painted, and the list just goes on and on and on of all of the things that these builders can miss when they are doing their walkthroughs. So the next question I typically get is, isn't there a building inspection that gets done? And the answer is yes. But keep in mind that those people are overworked right now too. And I've heard stories, I've never witnessed it, but I've heard stories where the building inspectors just drive through the neighborhood and don't even get out of the car to actually walk the property. Can't verify this, and it's probably not with all builders, but they're going as quickly as they can, and they're not as thorough as someone that you hire to represent you, not the builder, go through the property. That inspector is going to spend 2 hours typically going through the home, where the city inspector or the building inspector is probably going to spend, if they get out of the car, 10 or 15 minutes walking through the property. So it's in your best interest to do that pre-drywall inspection and then that final inspection. The third inspection that I recommend doing is actually after you've lived in the home for about 10 months. So when you purchase new construction, you get a bumper-to-bumper warranty for 1 year, where if anything fails on the house, the builder will fix it up to 1 year. So it's in your best interest to have a home inspector come inspect your property at 10 or 11 months. You're going to get a nice little binder, a digital file of all the things the home inspector found. You present that to the builder. They come out and they fix all of it. There's no negotiating. There's nothing that needs to be done. And they just fix everything that has failed over the year that you've lived in the house. So when you buy new construction, I actually recommend 3 separate inspections. the downside is each of these inspections are going to cost you money, and they're going to cost a few $100s per inspection. And not every inspector does new construction inspections because it requires special insurance that they have to have in place, and so it can be costly for them. So keep in mind, if you're shopping for inspectors, they need to be certified for new construction. Now, if you can't afford or you don't want to pay for all 3 inspections and you're looking to eliminate some of them, then I would skip maybe the pre-drywall inspection and do the last 2. And if that's still too much, then I would do the one at the 1-year mark once you've lived in the house for a full year. But if you can, I really think that you should try and do all 3. If not, do the second 2. If that's still too much, do the last one. The other cool thing when you buy new construction is there's something that's called a blue tape walkthrough. This happens a week prior to closing, which is why I recommend the second inspection you do be done around this time as well, because home inspectors know this and they will work with you and do blue tape as well. And so what does this mean? This means that you get to, hopefully with your agent, we go to all of these appointments, walk through the house with blue tape with the superintendent who's in charge of the build, and mark all of the imperfections and things that you find wrong with the home with blue tape. And so that's drywall imperfections, that check all the windows to make sure that they open and close and stay open. And just any imperfections, scratches, dents, stains on the tile, anything that's wrong with the house, lights that don't work, ceilings. You want to be extremely thorough when you're walking through those properties. So my recommendation when you do these blue tape walkthroughs is when you enter the home, hug the house to the right. So you just pick the right side of the house, and it's always nice if you have people of different heights because your eye line is at different levels and you'll catch different things, right? And so hug the right and go around the entire house, and then by the time you finish, you'll be back to the front door, therefore you haven't missed anything. If you've got a 2-story, do the same thing. Hug the right downstairs, go upstairs, hug the right, and then you're finished. There should be blue tape all over the place by the time that you're done because you will find a lot of imperfections. After you've lived in the home for about a month, the builder will come back and fix any additional items that you find wrong with the house after living in it. So what ends up happening once you move into the home, you're going to catch different imperfections when the lighting changes. You may accidentally dent a wall when you're moving your stuff in, cause some drywall damage. Once you start showering and washing your hands and running the plumbing, some of the sinks might start to leak. Keep track of all that. We recommend to our clients to have a pad of paper in the kitchen, write all those things down, and at the 30-day mark, the builder will send all those trades back in to fix those things. Now, if it's something that is really bad, say that you've got a pipe that is leaking a lot or a giant crack, notify the builder right away. But otherwise, if it's just cosmetic stuff and it isn't as important, they'll fix it at that 30-day mark. So the consequences of not having an inspection done are you lose that peace of mind. The builder does all of these repairs for free. It's part of the contract, so they should be fixing these things. And once you get past a year, you are now relying on manufacturer warranties and not the builder warranties, and that's a lot harder to get things done, and all of the manufacturers have different timelines. And so if you don't get those things addressed, or at least notify the builder prior to the expiration of those timelines, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to have any sort of recourse to get those items addressed. To reiterate, you definitely should do inspections on new construction, even though everything is brand new. The list should be relatively short, but you get a greater peace of mind, and the builder's going to fix all this stuff for free. No negotiating, no back and forth. Just give them the reports and they will fix it. So it's definitely in your best interest to do as many of those 3 inspections as you can, and if you can't do all 3, at least do 1 or 2 of them. If you have any questions, let us know. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.